right. Once again, back in the fabulous new location this week. So what do we got next, Spence?
I was just going to touch on...
What beer?
Island Coastal Lager, good vibes, craft brewed, Island Soul, 4.5% by alcohol by volume. I don't think it's got an IBU on it.
Josh, go over there.
My son.
But yeah, Island Lager.
He had to open it and taste it first because...
We're getting... Oh yeah, I had to because I was caught. He kind of burped and got me.
But yeah, I wanted to start with Picard. I left off. I said we're going to talk Star Trek a little bit. There's not much on it right now, but I just read a little bit ago that
they just released the first image of his uniform, didn't they?
Yeah, of Admiral Picard. But he's not going to be in uniform for the majority of the series.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, he's got. I guess it's like an independent crew and ship that they're helping him out with whatever his mission is. They still haven't really touched on that, but they said that whatever he said, whatever like ideas he came up with, they were taking them to heart and putting them in the script because they really wanted to work with who he was as an actor, and I think he's a great actor.
Oh yeah.
And so that makes me, I'm like, I already want to see it, but now I can't wait to see it. So that was it.
So you were touching base on that. Okay.
Yeah, we just watched a couple of movie trailers. We watched Midway, 1914, 1917, 19 something.
But anyway, with Midway.
Yeah, Midway. I was just telling Simon
the Battle of Midway, World War II.
Crucial battle, but it was starring.
I think it's directed by Roland Emmerich.
Yeah, and starring Woody Harrelson. And I was just telling Simon, I'm like, I'm glad he's like getting back into making movies. I mean, I wasn't, not that I disliked him as an actor, but I just wasn't, a huge fan. But now that I'm seeing him in more things, I'm like, okay, this guy.
I've always liked Woody Harrelson since Cheers. He was like the best part of Cheers to me. When they hired him as a bartender, I was like, that's how old I am. I watched Cheers. Yes. This gray is real.
Arctic Blonde.
Oh, that's a new title. I like that. Arctic Blonde. That's a good title. Can we get that on hair products? Arctic Blonde. But, so Midway, Woody. I didn't even see him in the preview, Woody.
Yeah, he was like an admiral or maybe a captain or something like that because he was the one that was saying that Washington didn't think that, because he was like, Japan is massing for an attack on Midway, but Washington didn't believe, that's what the case was, and so he was like, we really got to, hold our position there because they're coming. And
okay.
Yeah.
I obviously missed that.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Island Lager? Did you take a taste yet?
Oh, I haven't yet. I was just finishing off my other one, but let me take a taste.
You're way behind.
I know.
It's pretty easy to drink.
Yeah, it's a lot easier than this other one that we put in the glass. Oh, that's actually pretty tasty.
Yeah, this could be, as some would say, is a boat. Could be a boat lager, easy on a Sunday when you're like, instead of your normal.
If you're rich and have a boat.
Or, yeah. If you're rich and have a boat. But
you can, excuse me, you can pick her up when you just can't flip her over like him. But
yes,
I'll let you guess what that means.
We've got a full house here. We can't really figure out who's talking about. And then the next one we watched was 1917, which is Sam Mendes, who's done a lot of movies, like they said, Skyfall, but he's also American Beauty. You never watched American Beauty? Oh,
no.
There's so many movies I need to educate you on.
I know.
It's not just science fiction.
And it's not that I just chose not to watch it. It's just like the time passed, like it was out, and then it was like I forgot about it. So,
but 1917 is supposed to be like one long shot, which intrigues me by such a good director, as it's going to follow the two characters looking for almost like Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, that's what I got that vibe watching.
But 1917 being World War I, and it looks beautiful. The cinematography looks beautiful and intense.
And I just want to, touch on something that like brings that up. But a friend of mine, we were talking about this the other day. A friend of mine, we were talking about this the other day. Now we have PTSD,
Yes.
And back in World War One, we had
shell
shock. You know,
as the great George Carlin used to always say.
But we talk about like, and he brought up. He's like, they had shell shock in World War One. World War Two was just kind of, you dealt with it. You just kind of moved on. Everybody was this strong individual, and they just kind of and now you have PTSD. And he's like, he was wondering why that skipped that generation. But
no, they had words. To George Carlin, you have to watch it. He has a list of all the words from World War One. Everything everyone's dealt with, and how they changed the terms of it to make it sound better.
Yeah,
and it's really not any better.
Yeah,
it's the violence of everything that's going on around you.
It's a mental health system in the United States, which I hope that me and Simon can touch on, in a later episode with watching The Joker. Because I've heard that that movie is just kind of like an allegory for the mental health system in the United States.
I'm going to do this too. I'm going to challenge you. Besides watching The Joker, there's a movie that I watched called My Friend Dahmer.
Ooh, okay.
Which is it was actually written in a comic book form originally, I believe, comic book form by a guy who was in high school with Jeffrey Dahmer his senior year. And they became friends, and his story, basically how he watched Dahmer change. But it deals with mental health that a lot of people ignored or looked over.
Yeah.
Behavior and picking on people, and everyone wants to talk about Joker, and it's like, this is something that happened that we should always look at, and how we can be better human beings to each other, in my opinion. And I'm not saying what he did was right, or it goes past the cannibalistic nature.
Yeah.
But it's like, there was a lot of things that dealt with, and it's like basic things people look past. He was dealing with his parents divorcing and they're fighting, and he had a younger brother, and it's just really interesting story, And but yeah, we will hopefully go, because there's been touchy-go things on things I've read about the Joker. Some people think it's great, grand, and nobody disagrees that Joaquin's fabulous. Everyone's like, Joaquin's fabulous, but we knew Joaquin was fabulous way before the Joker.
And what I've heard from people that I know that have watched it, they just say that it's much darker than what they kind of play off in the trailer.
Yeah.
But they also say that a couple people I've talked to, they think that he did a much better job than Ledger. Not to play off Heath Ledger's, part. He did a great Joker, but they think that as far as
here you go. Something that I just read is the original ending, because he puts on the makeup and supposedly he just killed somebody at the end, and he puts the person's blood on to make that. And they released it original ending. He was supposed to take a knife and start surgically cutting. And at the last minute, they were like, no, because then it's going to tie in. So they changed the ending to make you wonder, because of the time setting, if maybe he's the person who influences, that this isn't the same Joker, that different people influence different people in timelines to become the Joker, basically.
Yeah. Well, if Ben Affleck had stuck with being the Batman, they could have tied this in, because one of the theories was that the Joker from Suicide Squad wasn't the original Joker. He was actually was Jason Todd.
Yeah.
And he had been like...
So instead of the Red Hood, he became...
Yeah, and he, Joker, with him, into becoming this. And that the original Joker had died off years ago, and that this could have followed into that.
Yeah.
But
how the madness of the Joker can influence people.
I'm changing it. It's no longer thanks Obama. Now it's thanks Affleck.
Anyway, we all liked Affleck as a Batman. And you said that on an earlier episode.
He was a good Batman, but if you're going to do something like that, it's going to be a multi-film
Well, he wanted to be multi-film, but he didn't want to sit around and wait.
That's too damn bad. I'm sorry. Quit bitching about it. You already have a ton of money. What's the big deal? It's not like I've been seeing trailers for all your movies coming out that you couldn't wait to. Anyways,
that's true. But he does have a part, I think, in Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Oh, I'm sure that took up so much of his time.
Maybe, you never know. All right. Once again, we're back. It's a never-ending story that we are back. But our next beer, if you'll show the camera, because it's a Sweetwater G13 strain.
That's just 420 strain.
420 strain, I'm sorry. It's the Mango Kush.
Ooh.
Show it. Get a good view on that. Smell it.
It's a tasty.
We've had 420 strain by Sweetwater.
You know what, Simon? Why can't this be part of the skunk beer challenge?
Because it's not truly skunk beer.
I mean...
But let's have a taste. We poured them.
Juicy mango notes.
We split it up, yeah. If you've ever had Sweetwater 420 strain. I have some friends who don't like it, and that's okay. Because every beer is a different taste to everybody. But it smells illegal, and that's what I'm going to say. We have the regular 420 strain in the fridge, but I wanted to skip this because we've already had this. We've already had the regular. But the mango, I can't really taste the Mango Kush.
It still tastes good, though.
And it's dank. It smells dank. It smells illegal.
It tastes like a Jay and Silent Bob kind of beer.
Yeah. It really does. But we're going to talk about a couple things that we might have watched. You were just telling me about you just watched Brightburn.
Yes.
And you're telling me I should watch it.
Yeah. Now I'm a Superman fan, so I'll put that out there. But just watching it, it was a take on the Superman origin story, and to me, it was a great take on it. Now I was a fan of the Superman Red Sun, which was
that's my favorite Superman story.
And I mean, if you don't know about it, it's instead of him landing in Kansas, he lands in Russia, and he becomes a soldier in the Russian army.
Super soldier.
Ends up conquering the world for Russia, except for the U.S. And you just got to read the story to see what goes on there. But great story. But this one is like a
good head right there. Oh, it sticks to the glass.
This one is a dark version of the Superman origin story, and if you haven't seen it, give it a shot because I loved it.
So that's your recommendation.
Yeah.
And like I was saying, I had heard it fit into because James Gunn had done Super, and I was like, I'd heard it might fit into the Super universe, but you were like, you had a different theory at the end because you said Michael Rooker actually was at the end.
Surprise appearance at the end. It was almost like I want to say a credit scene because the credits are rolling and he's on the side and they're playing it and he's like a news reporter and he's talking about this kid and what he's doing and he's like, yeah, there's reports of a witch.
So I have the spoiler alert.
Sorry. Spoiler alert.
We're not just spoiling the story, but this is at the end credits.
Yes, yeah. So I mean, he's like talking about a witch with a rope that causes people to tell the truth. I mean, it's playing on Wonder Woman, and then you have this underwater monster, which is a play on Aquaman. So it sets up for almost like a dark Justice League kind of movie. So if you haven't seen it, give it a shot. It's great.
And that's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to see Brightburn now. Of course, I think you probably got it at Redbox, so I can find it at Redbox. This month, I'm going to recommend, I don't know, you have Netflix. Here's something different. Okay? My wife has got me into a show called Kim's Convenience. It is about a Korean family. And I'm assuming that might be in New York. I'm not really sure the city they're in. They don't disclose it. What? LA? Canada. Okay. Sorry. In Canada, it's a really good show. I like Fresh Off the Boat, but this is kind of different because it goes into a lot more Korean stuff, so you learn a lot more about the Appa and the Uma, the father and the mother, and their relationships. I recommend this to you because it's hilarious. The show is hilarious.
Okay.
But it also has its moments of truly touching moments because the son and the father are distant and they don't talk, but you still have it's a brother and a sister, a father and mother, and then everything they deal with is truly interesting, and that's my recommendation.
Is this a reality show or
no? It's 3 seasons. It's a comedy,
okay.
actually.
Okay.
So most of it's funny, believe it or not.
Okay.
But that's my recommendation. We'll be back in a second.